than owning. You preserve capital.
I know.
Today's leaders, we're talking to Darcy from Rethink. Darcy was my first realtor I ever worked with.
Yeah.
I think we're maybe 13, no more than that, 15 years ago.
Yes.
It's definitely a long time ago. Tell us about yourself.
So I'm Darcy Schlechtleitner with Rethink Real Estate Group. I have known Sunil forever. I was just laughing because we kind of, I feel like we maybe kind of started together in some regards. We were the blind leading the blind. So it makes me kind of laugh thinking back to our first transaction. But I've been in, I did a 2-year program at BCIT for commercial real estate, graduated in 2004. I was supposed to go to Colliers upon graduation and do commercial and residential. I was actually really scared to go into commercial because it seemed like it was kind of an old boys club, and that's admit it totally is. But I was 24 and I was scared, and so I chose to go into residential real estate in Westminster, and was with Remax for 8 years, Keller Williams for 4, and then we just opened our own company. I did actually in July of this year. So we are completely independent now, and
good for you.
Yeah,
I didn't know that. I thought you were. Oh, that's even better.
No, we're on our own. We're on our own.
Wicked.
Yeah. So and why are we on our own? Just because I've always felt like when kids play that game when there's they're little kids and they're putting the squares into the squares and the triangles into the triangles, and there's that game. I always kind of
the squares into the
I always kind of felt like we were like a triangle and we were going into a square and we just didn't fit. And although they were really great places to be and to learn, to be mentored and all sorts of things, I always just had my own ideas.
Yeah.
So I have a real estate team there's 7 of us in total. We have a very diverse group. I'm obsessed with team building, with hiring the perfect people. I teach courses on human behavior and what models a perfect team. And I like to think I have a perfect team. I've had a lot of success in real estate.
What got you into it?
I was working at Fido. I'm actually
Fido the cell company?
Fido the cell phone company, yeah.
I think that's owned by Rogers now.
Yeah, probably. Yeah, I was working there. I actually grew up in Edmonds. My family didn't it wasn't really a real estate family by any means. It was kind of like it was kind of a neighborhood that people didn't have a lot of money by any means. And I remember I had this job at Fido, and I was always a really hard worker. I had a job when I was 10. I'm not going to lie. I've had a job since I was 10. I'm a worker. And my boss said, she brought me this real estate magazine, and she said, I think you'd be great at real estate. And I had never really had anyone tell me I would be great at anything. Yeah. Actually, probably. It's kind of sad. It's kind of sad.
But you killed it here.
And I just, it took 2 years to upgrade it to get to, even just to BCIT. I graduated from an alternative school here in Westminster. Yeah. Yeah, so my business is also very different because it's a real social model with a real estate spin. It's very different. It's very different. It's again the triangle and square. Yeah. So yeah. Anyways, and failure was never been an option. I didn't even know it was hard. I just worked hard and it was great.
I
sold a house my first weekend.
Failure is not an option. It's huge.
It's not an option.
Same here for me either.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I never fail. I just stop. I think and I get back up and I adjust and I go back again and attack again.
I've scraped my knees. I've scraped my whole body across concrete, really. But I've had some tough lessons. But I've had every single one of them has made me bigger and better and greater and more humble and more grateful.
So what drives you?
Right there. My wall.
Family.
That's it.
Nice.
Right? Yeah, that's it.
Nice.
I'm top left corner in particular.
Yeah.
My 10-year-old, my husband, my extended family. My dad.
That's your dad?
Yeah, it's my dad.
Who's your dad right now?
My dad actually passed away when I was a little girl.
Oh, sorry, I didn't know that.
No, that's okay. It's good. He was a good man. He died when I was 10, and he was a businessman. So he was a logger. I come from a real blue collar family for sure. So Mateo is my little guy here. He's on the left, and so he's kind of my big why. So Mateo and I, for instance, are going. We're going to Thailand for 3 weeks next month. We did we did a road trip to Arizona for 3 weeks, 2 years before that. My whole life is work 80-hour weeks, work hard, save money, have comfort. I never miss a sports game. I'm completely obsessed with my life. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's a big drive.
Like
That's
I want him to, just be able to have a lot of comforts I didn't.
Yeah.
But he's not spoiled. I make him work hard for his money.
No, exactly.
Like
That's
I
what
make him work hard.
I think a lot of parents fail there because they just
Yeah.
want to give everything to the children, and the children just don't have the drive to do anything else.
Yeah, no.
No,
He actually
there's
he's 10. He asked me when he can start babysitting last week, and I was like, after the summer, I want to instill that for sure.
Yeah.
It's important for me. I have a really blessed I have a really blessed life. I do. I'm grateful for all of it. I like to be able to just have comforts, and really none of it's for me as much as it's for my family.
Yeah.
Like for you, what do you need to know? How can I provide that for you?
Yeah.
For the people in the homeless shelter next door. I always see places in the world people need something. I'm so lucky because I've always. It's never been hard for me to make money.
Yeah.
Because I've worked hard and I've been lucky.
That's
it's not lucky.
It comes down
I've
to
earned
leaders,
it,
right? Leaders are there to serve.
I'm there to serve.
Right? They're there to
I'm
serve.
there to serve my
Exactly.
all my team.
That's all you're there for.
I love these guys.
Yeah.
I want them to do well. I want them to make more money than me.
You serve them, they will serve you.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to.
I want to be of service.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all it is. You've been in real estate for about well over 10 years. What have you done differently from from the beginning to even the last 5 years? What has changed on how you bring in the business?
It's all referrals.
Yeah.
It's all referrals. Yeah. So, we were just, got called in a listing from someone who, his in-laws were my first clients.
Wow.
Yeah. Literally. This is just, it's this snowball effect of, I've actually been a little bit, I'm not even snobby, but it kind of, if I didn't know you and you didn't know Dylan, then I probably wouldn't have worked with you. I kind of was funny like that. I really like to know people who know good people because good people know good people.
No, exactly.
And I kind of worked on those pretenses. When I walk into a listing appointment, I have it immediately because they already know about me.
Yeah.
Right? So, and growing the team, though, has been interesting because making sure that we have people who work with us who have the same core values and who our clients are going to be receptive
exactly.
with, right?
The core value is very important.
It's number one.
If you don't have that, you don't know what that is,
you
can't pass it on to them.
Yeah.
And the culture is gone, right? You need that culture.
Culture's everything. Yeah. And culture for us is doing the right thing. Yeah. Do the right thing. But make your clients tons of money. I believe in creating wealth.
Yeah.
For you, for me. Yeah. For everything we do, because if we can create wealth and if we can amass wealth for our clients, then they can do whatever they want in life and they can do good things.
Yeah. No, agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
It's a funny thing. It hasn't always been super simple. I'll tell you that much. It's it's really interesting as you're moving and changing. And there's so much education.
Okay, when you talk about wealth, what kind of wealth? When I look at wealth, I don't look at money.
What do you look at?
I look at everything. I look at how happy I am. Yes. I look at the love in my life. I look at the relationships I have. To me, that is wealth.
Yes.
Money is a very small portion to that.
It is.
Right? So that's why I wanted to go deeper there.
I think you and I, though, are a little bit more evolved.
Yeah.
In that sense, I'm sure lots of people who are watching us are really evolved as well, because they're watching this. But I think
because they're watching us.
It's true, right?
It's true. Minds.
You wouldn't be watching this if you weren't someone who wanted the full pie, in your life of everything to be full.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of people, I find, just look at wealth.
Yeah.
And money.
When I was younger,
everything is about money.
When I was younger, I was more to do with the money.
Yeah.
Today, it's more to do with what I'm leaving this world.
Yes.
It's the legacy to me. It's
me too. Yeah. Me too. I never work for money, actually.
Yeah.
But I just, by working so hard and doing the right thing,
money comes. Money comes.
Right?
Money comes.
So, but a lot of my clients, for them, it is all about money, and that's okay. Right, and that's okay. And I have a lot of clients who also are a little more evolved in the personal development. Most of them have made a lot of money and snapped.
Yeah.
They've snapped, because they've gone too hard and their bodies, there's been something that's made them crack. Yeah. And then they found glory.
So that shatter happens, that takes their... you know what they do?
I shattered. I completely shattered.
You shatter that ego is what they get shattered. Hey, I fell many times. And when I fall, every time I get punched in the head, guess what? It's my ego that's getting it's let going, right? So I'm opening up.
When your ego is like when you don't really have one anymore, though, and you start kind of going, oh, like that's so, it kind of becomes uncomfortable. You're like, well, where is that ego? Like, and I went through a period where the ego kind of left the building, and I wasn't sure if I was even in the right career anymore. Because you kind of feel like you need an ego to be in real estate. I need that fast car. I don't know. There's something to do with our field. And then I just went kind of like, no, you don't.
No, you don't.
Open your own business. Go on your own. Do your own thing. Don't compare yourself to anyone. Just do what you got to do. Yeah.
I'd rather instead of taking a Mercedes, I'll take that Honda and save that money from the Mercedes and use that in other assets.
I'm there. I'm there.
And save.
I'm so there.
Yeah.
Because I'm into human experience and human connection.
Yeah.
That is worth more than anything.
For sure. Interpersonal connection is by far
like
very important, especially in real estate.
Yeah, and in life, like even just this moment.
Any advice to Darcy when she was just starting in real estate? Any business advice? No, it doesn't have to be real estate. Business advice.
I think
human advice.
I know. I didn't have very high self-esteem when I started.
Yeah.
I didn't know like how good I was.
Yeah.
I didn't know my worth.
Yeah. Self-worth is very important.
Yeah, and I didn't know how. If you sat and you asked me like, why are you the best?
Yeah.
I would say, and I was competing with you, and you're my competitor. I would say, well, Sunil's a great guy. You know, I'd say whatever you choose today is, you know, that's great. And I brought that that humbleness to my business, but at the same time, I was better, and I did do more, and I didn't want to be bravado. So I would have had a little more bravado. I would have wrote it down and been like, listen, kid, this is what you got. I have more education than anyone in the city in this field. I know all about the OCPs, all about the developments. I know all the, like, I know, like, I've studied this. This is all I do.
Mm-hmm.
I'm amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm amazing.
Yeah.
And I could tell you that today, and you would hire me. But before, because I would probably not have told you. I would tell the little girl that she had a lot more than she thought.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Love it. Self-worth is like that. That's everything.
And maybe even having a little ego then, because I didn't have any then either. And then the ego gets really big. Right?
Yeah. Cut the ego out of it. Personality.
Yes.
Personality you need.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah. But that is the one thing for sure. I just couldn't. When someone said, "Why are you the best?" I just couldn't. I just thought, well.
You have to find yourself.
There's so many guys. You're right. I didn't know who I was.
Exactly.
You know, I was 24.
And that was the talk there, right? Because I guarantee most of them don't even know who they are. The thing here is they have to find that because they might be in the wrong field.
Yes. Well, only 30% of us will actually stay.
Yeah.
After a year or two, right?
It's
interesting as you watch the turnover because you invest so much time in the people and you love them so much, and they're intended to do something different. Like we have like flight attendants and people working at City Hall and planning, but you kind of miss them because they're kind of great.
Yeah.
You know. But but I'm all for.
But you're doing a favor.
I am.
Right? Because the passion is not there. I'd rather take a cut in salary and in my income and do something I love than making more money to do something I hate. How many lawyers 30, 40, 50 years, well, not 50 years, like 20, 30 years later, they leave their practice making, a couple $100,000 a year, maybe $1 million a year, and they go and open a restaurant because they wanted to be a cook and they love it, and now they're taking home $50,000, but they love it even more.
It's so crazy. The only other thing I would do if I wasn't a realtor is law.
Is law.
Yeah. But that just came to me about 2 years ago. So that's interesting. Yeah, no, I'm living my dream. Isn't it? It's strange. It's a strange thing. But I went through a small period where I didn't feel like it was right. But that was when the ego left, and I just, I don't know. I just know I'm going to be okay today. If you show up and you do what you're saying, you're going to be okay.
For sure.
And I have huge goals, like the biggest goals ever. But they're tied to greatness.
One step at a time. You'll get there.
Yeah.
All one step.
Yeah.
Darcy, if you guys are in the Royal City, New Westminster, this is the Realtor to contact. We'll have all of our information on the bottom. And anything else you gonna say?
I just want to say thank you, and I'm really grateful to have you here.
Awesome.
And I really thank you. Yeah.
Wicked.
Yeah.
Hug.
So good.